A man accused of killing his wife over a week ago in Bath County has been arrested in Indiana.
A man is dead after an argument led to a stabbing at a Lexington apartment complex.
And a former UK football player sues the NCAA.
This is WKYT News at 5.
A Bath County man on the run for more than a week surrendered to police in Indiana today.
Christopher White is accused of killing his wife at their home in Owingsville last week. Victor Puente talked to White's sister, who believes drugs are to blame. He has our top story at 5.
Christopher White's sister told me they feared he would be found dead. So when he turned himself in this morning, there was relief. There was also a lot of sadness. Angela White says she learned her brother was in custody when she called Kentucky State Police detectives this morning, just as she had every morning since they began searching for him.
I don't like for Dad to find out anything through the news. You know, I always like to call first. He's 75.
White is wanted for the murder of his wife, Judy White. Her body was found August 24th at their home. Police say she had been shot multiple times. Angela White said she believes her brother is responsible.
I know that that's hard for Judy's family, and she didn't deserve this. I know that. She was an awesome woman. We loved her very much. She was a big part of our family.
She also says she believes the drug addiction he had been battling for years is to blame. The sheriff of Gibson County, Indiana, told us White contacted them this morning and said he thought he might have been wanted in Kentucky. He waived his extradition and should be heading back here in the coming days.
I'll be there through court. I'll be there through everything. He can say whatever he wants to about me, and he can get upset with me, and I know he done wrong and he has to pay, but he's still my baby brother, and I love him with all my heart, soul, and mind. And that'll never change.
Once White is brought back to Kentucky, he'll be held in the Montgomery County Jail. That's because Bath County doesn't have a detention center. In Bath County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Police went to White's home after Judy White didn't show up for work that morning. Her coworker said it was unlike her to miss work.
Police say an argument led to a man being stabbed to death last night in Lexington, but they say the stabbing was in self-defense. Monique Blair is live in Lexington talking to neighbors at the apartment complex where it all happened. Monique?
Hi, Sam. Yeah, Lexington police say 40-year-old Timothy Jones and his 47-year-old neighbor both lived here at the Walnut Terrace apartment complex. Police say the two had been arguing all day yesterday. But around 7 o'clock last night, police say that argument escalated. Police say Jones approached and threatened his neighbor with a rifle. During the argument, police say the man then stabbed Jones multiple times. Once police got on scene, they found Jones laying in this apartment building driveway, hardly conscious. He was taken to UK hospital where a short time later, he was pronounced dead. A woman named Ella Combs told me it worries her to know violence in any form is happening so close to her home.
It was kind of strange because I walk the neighborhood, and to hear that I have to walk through here to go to work or go to the library or something, it was just odd to me to wake up at noon and seeing it on the news that it was that close to my residence.
Now, police say the man who stabbed Jones was using a pocket knife, but police say at this time he is not facing any charges because their preliminary investigation has determined he was acting in self-defense. Reporting live in Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And police tell us they've been called to that apartment building numerous times in the past for unrelated issues.
We now know the name of the person who died in a crash on a busy Lexington road yesterday afternoon. The Fayette County Coroner's Office says William Arthur Stone Jr. died after hitting a rock wall on Ironworks Pike. It happened during afternoon rush hour near Interstate 75. Police think Stone may have suffered some sort of medical emergency which caused the crash. No other injuries were reported. Police say an 18-year-old planned to kill his girlfriend's aunt and uncle so they could run away together. Our county-by-county coverage at 5 begins in Bell County. Police arrested 18-year-old Joseph Helton and charged him with conspiracy to commit murder. Police say Helton and his underage girlfriend sent text messages to each other planning the murders. Investigators say Helton's girlfriend sent photos of the doors of the house so he would know where to come in. Helton's girlfriend was also arrested and is in custody in Adair County. In Boyle County, police are searching for someone who stole a dirt bike. Police say someone stole a Honda CR-10 dirt bike from American Pawn on the Danville bypass. Police shared this surveillance video of the theft. In it, you can see the man put the bike in the trunk of a car. If you have any information on the man in this video, you're asked to call Danville Police.
Hurricane Hermine is now a Category 1 storm soaking Florida's Gulf Coast and will likely make landfall overnight in Florida. Now, people are being told there to expect more than a foot of rain and possible tornadoes. Don Champion is in Panama City Beach with the latest.
This is life-threatening.
Florida's governor warned residents that Hermine isn't a storm to take chances with.
We're going to have significant storm surge, as much as 8 feet. We're going to have significant winds, 70 to 75-mile-an-hour winds.
Hermine intensified in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico Thursday. Landfall is expected overnight in Florida's Panhandle. From there, Hermine will head up the eastern seaboard. Florida has not had a direct hit from a hurricane in 11 years. Residents along the Gulf Coast spent the day preparing for the worst.
Sandbags, try to get everything ready, tied down. Things moved, vehicles out.
The outer bands of heavy rain have been pushing on shore since late this morning. By the time it's all over, some areas could see almost 2 feet of rainfall. A state of emergency has been declared for more than 50 counties in Florida, and schools in more than 20 counties have been closed. Philip Byron is using these last few hours of preparation to stack sandbags outside his newly renovated real estate office.
It's just Mother Nature. You just take it as it comes and you do what you can do and hope for the best.
Prepared or not, Florida residents are in for a long night. Don Champion, CBS News, Panama City Beach, Florida.
Now, Florida health officials are also warning the storm could hamper efforts to control the mosquito population and minimize the spread of the Zika virus. Mosquitoes breed in standing water, and there will be plenty of that around after Hermine passes by.
Well, the good news, we will not be seeing anything like what they're seeing in Florida here in the Bluegrass. In fact, the weather is just about perfect, right in time for our weekend. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey in the First Alert Weather Center. Chris?
Yeah, we get a lot of the good stuff on our Thursday. Who knew all you had to do was flip the calendar to September in order to get the ugly weather on out of the Bluegrass state? September, thank you for finally getting here, I guess, huh? Upper 70s to right around 80 degrees into most areas. Cool spot in Maysville, 76 degrees. Farther north that you go, the cooler that air is. This is what we're getting in on over the next few days. You see how the winds are coming in from Covington, from Columbus, from Cleveland, Dayton, where it is 73 degrees right now, 73 Indianapolis. That's the air we're going to be messing with as we go into the weekend. Now, we are getting a little cloud cover that's out there. That is typically the case during the heart of the afternoon when you have colder air aloft, and that's what we're seeing, leading to the nice little cool down. That cold front is off to our south and southeast. If you're out this evening, absolutely spectacular. You're going to notice the clouds decreasing quickly as we get closer to sunset, where we go from 75 to 64 in just a matter of a couple of hours. The future temperatures as we go into the day tomorrow, upper 50s to around 60 to start. Lunchtime, low 70s. Hello Friday at 5 with a lot of mid to upper 70s that will be showing up. Guys, we'll break down the rest of that holiday weekend forecast and take you to Hermine and give you a virtual tour as that storm comes ashore later tonight.
A former University of Kentucky football player has joined a lawsuit against the NCAA because of the ongoing effects of concussions he received playing football. Brian Milam joins us now here in the studio with more. Brian?
A former Wildcat receiver Demario Ford gave up football at UK back in 2008 because of lingering effects from multiple concussions. Now he's joining a class action lawsuit against the NCAA and major conferences. Ford, probably best remembered for his touchdown catch in the 2006 Music City Bowl against Clemson. Ford caught 23 passes for 292 yards and 3 touchdowns as a Wildcat. Now, according to the lawsuit, Ford suffered concussions during practices and games and was instructed to return to play. As a result, Ford now suffers from headaches, depression, mood swings, and other debilitating issues. Now, the lawsuits name the NCAA and the SEC and the conferences in which certain schools compete. State laws protect most schools, usually public, from being sued. Miami is mentioned in the lawsuit, but they are a private school. Much more on this, I'm sure, in the weeks and the months ahead of us. Sam, back to you.
Brian, thank you. Another lawsuits filed on Wednesday included one by former Louisville linebacker Willie Johnson and one by former Murray State fullback James Harrison.
A SpaceX rocket has exploded days before a planned launch in Florida, the latest in just a few minutes.
Campbell's is in some hot water financially, details and better living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey, absolutely gorgeous weather right on cue as we roll our way into September now. This stuff can hang around all at once as far as I'm concerned. I love me some fall weather in the Bluegrass State. I would imagine a lot of folks out there share that same point of view. WKYT Weather Garden. Notice the trees, and before too long, we will be seeing a little color showing up. 3 or 4 weeks from now? That's pretty crazy to think about, isn't it? Right now, the trees are just kind of swaying back and forth, courtesy of a wind coming at us from the northeast at 15 miles an hour, occasional gusts around 20. Humidity continues to come down, temperatures all day long into the mid to upper 70s, flirting with 80 degrees out there. But overall, we can't ask for a whole lot more for day 1 of September. Defender Radar Network, hello, goodbye, nothing locally, bounce it out a little bit. Here is our cold front. I told you this was the good guy. Yesterday, that good guy is now pressing its way toward Knoxville, Tennessee, right on top of Dollywood. And it is rolling its way toward the Carolinas, pressing all the showers and thunderstorms to the southeast of that front as that cooler and drier and lovely air rolls on in behind it. How about your Friday? 56 out the door. Look at lunchtime tomorrow. You want to brown bag it at lunch, pack your lunch, go outside, enjoy it for work tomorrow. 72 degrees, 77 for the trip back home tomorrow evening. Heading out to a high school football game. 70 to 75 kickoff, low and mid 60s for the trip back home. First 2 weeks of the season, we were sweating it out. Not going to be the case tomorrow night unless you've got yourself a barn burner of a football game. 11 this evening, mid 60s. Say hello to tomorrow morning with a lot of 50s that will show up. Little valley fog should be out there too. Mix of sun and clouds, spectacular. Friday afternoon, similar to today. May have a little gray sky in the morning as the fog burns away, sun comes out, blue skies, and we kind of cloud it up just a little bit as that colder air aloft does some dirty work. 64 by 11 tomorrow night. Saturday morning, a lot of 50s that will show up. 72 to 74 for noontime on Saturday. Saturday afternoon, readings that will be into the upper 70s. Let's do it all over again. Saturday night, we look good out at Commonwealth Stadium. Sunday morning, those readings are down into the 50s. We have great weather around here. Not so great, obviously, in Florida. This is Hurricane Hermine. It's a Category 1 minimal hurricane, but boy, look at those spiraling bands. And we've got tornado watches out for parts of Georgia and Florida right now. You want to see what it's like when a hurricane comes ashore? Well, we can't really take you there, but we can ask our computer model to take you there. The eye of the hurricane. Here we are on the beach at Apalachicola looking out into the Gulf of Mexico. The eye of the storm coming on in at roughly 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Notice how you get a little calm weather under the eye. Then all of a sudden, it passes over top of you. Here we go at the back edge of the eye wall that is coming back on shore. And by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, hey, it's all over with here on the beaches of Florida. That storm is then working its way into Georgia, still has a nice presentation, and from there, it's going to work its way all the way up the eastern seaboard and may impact areas all the way, believe it or not, to the Jersey coastline as we go into Sunday and Monday. Back here, it's just flat out nice. That's all I've got to say about your weekend forecast.
So Kentucky totally misses any side effects of that, right?
Yeah, for a landfalling hurricane to impact our weather, chances are you want it west of Florida, in all likelihood, to come ashore, Louisiana, Texas, or even into Mississippi and Alabama. This is a little too far east, and the cooler weather we have here kind of pushing that to the east as well.
There's a lot of folks in the way of that storm.
Millions and millions.
For those
millions
folks.
and millions. This may impact all the way up to the New England states by Monday.
Wow. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
There's a collision on Gaines Way. This is at Tate's Creek. The Tate's Creek Road not impacted because of the crash. It is over to the side. About 2 cars involved, it looks like. Cleared the one at Manawar and Ruidosa. So the inner and outer loops of Manawar are now back open between Richmond Road and Hamburg, which is going to get things moving again there. To Mount Sterling, about 30 minutes to Richmond 24. Now back to you in the studio.
A man gets to walk his daughter down the aisle at her wedding thanks to a Louisville hospital. The touching story coming up.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A major setback for space exploration after an explosion at the SpaceX launch pad in Florida.
NASA says SpaceX was test firing its unmanned Falcon 9 rocket ahead of a scheduled launch this weekend when it exploded in Cape Canaveral. The blast was felt miles away and billows of smoke poured into the sky. The rocket was supposed to boost an Israeli communications satellite into orbit Saturday.
This is a really special story. Yesterday, a young woman married the love of her life, and like so many, she did it right in front of her dad.
But their story comes with an emotional and sad twist. Eric King is in Louisville with a rare love story.
It's the walk so many girls dream of, the moment when everyone stands and you walk down the aisle on the arm of your father. For Amber Ligtag, it's a bit of a modified dream, perhaps one more powerfully emotional than her dreams could ever allow.
I wish he was in a better, not so unfortunate situation.
That's Amber's brother Andrew, and this is their father Billy. We're not showing his face at the family's request.
This was one of his wishes, and it's one of their, wishes to have this done and him give her away, and so I have to kind of be here for him and do that. That's kind of my part, is to wheel him down and give her away.
Billy has kidney cancer. He's being treated here at St. Mary and Elizabeth Hospital. Since he was only born with one kidney, his outlook is less than optimistic. But his love for his daughter is stronger than any cancer, and he wanted to come down the aisle with his daughter on her wedding day. And Wednesday night, he did, and sat front and center for the entire service.
With this ring, I thee wed.
All of this put together in just a matter of days by the staff here at the hospital.
We talked about having, just a small thing even in the room. And anyway, the doctors and nurses caught wind of it, and before you knew it, they were offering this and food and the music, photographer. I mean, they've really done it all.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Woo! Sure, it was in a hospital. Sure, it was under less than ideal conditions. But weddings are about love stories. And in that respect, perhaps the most important of all respects, this one was no different.
It's kind of one of them things where it's not the opportune thing, or the right, it seems some people might think it's not exactly right, but for them and their wishes, it's working out great.
Well, bless that hospital staff for putting that together. Billy Ligtag is 60 years old and is in good spirits. His family says he was more than excited to see his daughter down the aisle.
Very nice. Lawyers representing an Estill County landfill were in court today, and we'll tell you why coming up at 5:30.
Walmart is already getting ready for Christmas and how fat can actually help you lose weight. Better Living is next. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. For many years, we have been trained to think of fat in the diet as our enemy, but the latest research shows that certain types of fat can help you lose weight and have better health. Meg Ferris explains.
When it comes to fat in the diet, we're locked on old science.
I prefer to eat the low fat than to eat the fat because it's going to put more fat on you.
I would say low fat diet, but everything in moderation is probably best.
But Dr. Mark Hyman of the Cleveland Clinic says new science shows low fat is a myth.
Sugar calories and refined carb calories make you fat, whereas fat calories make you thin. It stops your hunger, it mobilizes fat from your fat cells, it speeds up your metabolism, where sugar does all the opposite.
In Eat Fat, Get Thin, he explains that sugar, starches, and carbs increase insulin, so you get hungrier, but fat cuts hunger.
We should be eating fat and protein for breakfast, and our bodies will feel better, our brains will be more alert, our energy will be better, even our sex drive and skin will be better.
Now there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good fat to eat includes avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, wild fish like salmon, sardines. The ugly that you should never touch is the trans fat like shortening, margarine, hydrogenated vegetable oils. Andy says we need to rethink the bad saturated fat like meats.
There's no real link to heart disease in study after study after study.
Andy says only use small amounts of those refined vegetable oils. He says carbs are addictive. Drop those for fat and it will help your diabetes and sex hormones.
Hey guys, when you're eating a lot of sugar and refined carbs, your testosterone drops, your sex drive drops, your sex function drops.
Will you change the way you shop?
Yeah, because it's science.
And doctors say it's the sugar and refined carbs like the bun on your hamburger that hurts your cholesterol levels, leading to heart disease. Campbell Soup says it lost $81 million in the last quarter. Campbell was counting on its fresh products unit to boost its bottom line. Americans are craving more natural foods, but sales in that unit actually fell 5%. And it's not even Labor Day, but Walmart is thinking Christmas. The retailer is opening its layaway program tomorrow, and it's also out with its list of the 25 hottest toys for the holidays as picked by children. Some of the hottest items include a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle remote control and a Disney princess carriage. Christmas will be here before you know it. Now, here's what's coming up at 5:30.